Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where everyone is chasing big dreams, big changes, and big results. But here's a secret. Greatness is not built in one day. It is built in small, consistent steps that we take every single day. If you decide today that you will only improve yourself by 1% every day, just 1%, imagine where you will be in a year. That 1% turns into 365%. That's not small growth. That's transformation. The truth is, success is not about giant leaps. It's about micro steps, daily actions, and small wins that eventually create unstoppable momentum. So start today. Choose progress over perfection. Push yourself a little harder. Learn something new. Break one bad habit. Build one good habit. Be courageous enough to take one step forward every day. And when life feels overwhelming, when challenges look too big, just ask yourself, can I be 1% better today than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, you are already on the path to victory. Your future self is waiting for you. Don't disappoint them. Keep going. Be relentless. Be disciplined. And remember, 1% every day will take you further than you ever imagined. When we think about success, most people imagine it as this grand, dramatic breakthrough moment, a single day where everything changes. But the truth is, success rarely happens in a single day. It's not about how hard you work once or how much energy you pour in for 1 week. It's about what you choose to do over and over again, even when nobody is watching. Think about it. Going to the gym one day and working out for 5 hours won't make you fit. Reading one book in a night won't make you wise. Eating healthy for 1 week won't transform your body. But doing these things consistently, little by little, every day, that's where the real power is. Intensity is exciting, it gives you a rush, but it fades. Consistency, on the other hand, might feel boring, even invisible at times, yet it is the true foundation of achievement. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most fulfilled individuals, they are not defined by one big moment of intensity, but by thousands of small, disciplined actions repeated daily. Consistency is what builds habits. Habits build character, and character builds destiny. When you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when motivation is gone, you are training your mind and body to understand that discipline is stronger than moods. That's how you start winning in life, by showing up again and again until it becomes who you are. We often underestimate the power of small progress because it doesn't look impressive in the moment. Improving by just 1% seems too little, too slow, too invisible. But what we forget is that growth is not linear, it's exponential. 1% today might feel like nothing, but 1% every single day builds into something extraordinary. Think about it like money in the bank. If you deposit just a little bit every day, the interest compounds. What starts as a small sum grows into wealth, not because of a huge deposit, but because of consistent deposits over time. Your self-improvement works exactly the same way. Every extra push-up, every extra page you read, every extra hour you dedicate to your craft, it stacks up, it multiplies, and it compounds until one day you look back and realize how far you've come. The most remarkable transformations in life rarely come from drastic overnight changes. They come from quiet, steady progress, from choosing to be slightly better than you were yesterday, from asking yourself, what is one small action I can take right now to move forward? That's the magic of 1%. It looks small, but it has the power to change your entire life. Because while most people wait for the big leap, the person who embraces daily growth is already miles ahead, simply because they kept moving 1% at a time. Perfection is the enemy. One of the biggest reasons people never start, never grow, and never succeed is because they are waiting for things to be perfect. They want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect environment, the perfect version of themselves before they even take the first step. And that mindset destroys progress. Perfection is a trap. It convinces you that you are not ready yet, when in reality, readiness is built through action. You don't become confident by waiting for the perfect moment. You become confident by doing, by failing, by learning, and by trying again. Think about this. A baby never waits to perfect walking before taking their first step. They fall, they stumble, they wobble. But every stumble is progress. If they waited for perfection, they would never walk. That's exactly how growth works. Every mistake, every imperfect effort, every attempt that doesn't go as planned is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. The truth is, people don't remember how flawless you were. They remember your courage, your persistence, your willingness to keep going even when things weren't perfect. Perfection delays, progress builds, and if you're chasing perfection, you're not moving, you're just stuck, living in the illusion that one day everything will align. But life doesn't work that way. Perfection is not only the enemy of growth, it's the thief of opportunity. Because while you wait for everything to be just right, someone else is out there taking imperfect steps, learning, evolving, and getting closer to their goals. Daily habits shape destiny. Your life is not built by the things you do once in a while. It is built by the things you do every single day. Your habits are the blueprint of your future. They quietly design your destiny without you even noticing it. If you wake up every day and dedicate even a few minutes to grow, the learning, health, or creativity, those minutes accumulate into something life-changing. On the other hand, if you waste hours scrolling, doubting yourself, or repeating negative routines, those actions also accumulate, and they lead you somewhere you don't want to be. Habits are powerful because they are automatic. You don't have to think twice about brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. In the same way, if you build positive habits, they become part of your identity and they start guiding your actions effortlessly. Success then feels less like a struggle and more like second nature. Think of every habit as a vote for the person you want to become. Every workout is a vote for health. Every page you read is a vote for wisdom. Every dollar you save is a vote for financial freedom. Each habit on its own might feel small, but together they cast a powerful ballot for your future. And the truth is, your destiny is not decided by one giant decision. It's decided by the hundreds of small decisions you make every day. The way you spend your mornings, the way you handle your evenings, the way you treat your body, the way you feed your mind. All of it stacks up until one day, you realize your habits have written the story of your life. Courage in small steps. When people think of courage, they often imagine grand gestures, standing in front of thousands, taking a massive risk, or making a life-changing decision in a single moment. But real courage doesn't always look like that. More often, courage shows up quietly in the small steps you take every day. It's the courage to wake up early when the world is still asleep. The courage to start something new when you have no guarantee it will work. The courage to speak up when your voice shakes. The courage to take one more step forward, even when fear is whispering that you should stop. Small steps may seem ordinary, but they are extraordinary acts of bravery when taken consistently, because every small step moves you from where you are to where you want to be. And every time you push yourself just a little outside your comfort zone, you expand it. What felt impossible yesterday becomes your new normal tomorrow. Think about climbing a mountain. Nobody jumps from the bottom to the peak in one giant leap. It's one step, then another, then another. The higher you climb, the more courage it takes, because the air gets thinner, the path gets steeper, and the risks get bigger. But with each step, no matter how small, you get closer to the top. That's the beauty of courage. It doesn't have to roar. Sometimes it's a whisper that says, "I will try again today." Sometimes it's the decision to face a fear in small doses instead of running away from it. Sometimes it's simply showing up, even when you don't feel ready. Courage is not always about making headlines. It's about making progress. And progress often comes wrapped in small, quiet, consistent steps that no one else may notice. But you know deep inside they are shaping who you are becoming. Self-discipline is freedom. Most people hear the word discipline and immediately think of restriction, sacrifice, or punishment. They think discipline means living a hard life where you deny yourself joy. But in reality, self-discipline is the greatest form of freedom you will ever give yourself. Why? Because discipline liberates you from chaos. It frees you from regret. It protects you from the pain of what if. When you practice discipline, you're not being controlled. You are the one in control. Discipline is what allows you to say no to distractions and yes to your goals. It's what keeps you committed when motivation fades. It's what stops you from being a slave to temporary moods, impulses, and excuses. With discipline, you don't depend on how you feel. You depend on who you decide to be. Think about the areas where discipline matters. If you're disciplined with your health, you're free from disease and fatigue. If you're disciplined with your money, you're free from debt and stress. If you're disciplined with your time, you're free from wasted days and missed opportunities. The short-term sacrifices of discipline create long-term rewards that make life easier, lighter, and far more fulfilling. Discipline also builds respect, self-respect. Every time you follow through on a promise you make to yourself, you strengthen your confidence. You prove that your word has power. And once you can trust yourself, there is no greater freedom than that. Self-discipline is not about living a strict, joyless life. It's about creating habits and systems that allow you to thrive. It's about building a structure that supports your growth so that instead of fighting battles with yourself every day, you already know the path you're walking on. And when you walk that path long enough, you realize that discipline didn't take away your freedom. It gave you the ability to truly live it. Learn something every day. Growth begins with learning. The moment you stop learning, you stop evolving. Every day is an opportunity to pick up something new, a skill, a lesson, a perspective, an idea that can shape your future in ways you can't yet imagine. Learning doesn't always mean sitting in a classroom or holding a textbook. It can be as simple as listening to someone's story, watching how others solve problems, asking questions, or even reflecting on your own mistakes. Knowledge is everywhere, but only those who choose to see it gain it. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the ones who know everything. They are the ones who never stop being students. They treat life like an endless university where every conversation, every book, every challenge, and even every failure has something to teach them. When you decide to learn something every day, you create momentum. You feed your curiosity. You sharpen your mind. Even 10 minutes of intentional learning, reading a page, listening to a podcast, studying a new skill, observing a mentor, can add up to hundreds of hours of wisdom over the course of a year. And the truth is, knowledge compounds, just like growth. One idea leads to another. One skill unlocks the door to 10 more. One lesson today might be the key to solving a problem tomorrow. Every piece of learning becomes a building block in the structure of who you are becoming. Learning daily also keeps you humble. It reminds you that no matter how much you achieve, there is always more to know, more to explore, more to discover. It keeps your mind open, your spirit alive, and your possibilities endless. Break one bad habit at a time. So many people fail at changing their lives, not because they lack the ability, but because they try to change everything all at once. They want to quit every bad habit, start every good one, transform their health, fix their finances, build their career, all in the same week. And what happens? They burn out, get frustrated, and go back to square one. The truth is, real change doesn't happen overnight. It happens one choice at a time, one habit at a time. Breaking a bad habit is like untying a knot that's been there for years. You don't yank it apart in one pull, you loosen it slowly, patiently, step by step. Bad habits are powerful because they are automatic. You don't even think before reaching for your phone when you wake up, or before grabbing junk food when you're stressed. That's why the smartest way to take back control isn't to fight 10 habits at once, but to focus your energy on just one. When you break one bad habit, you gain strength, confidence, and proof that you can change. That victory creates momentum, and that momentum makes it easier to tackle the next habit and then the next. Over time, those small wins stack up, and suddenly the version of you who was trapped in old cycles is gone. And here's the secret. Breaking one habit doesn't just remove a negative, it creates space for a positive. Stop wasting hours scrolling on your phone, and you open space for learning. Stop smoking, and you open space for health. Stop doubting yourself, and you open space for courage. Every bad habit you break frees up energy for the life you actually want to build. The process may feel slow, but it is powerful, because every time you conquer one bad habit, you're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you are. Celebrate tiny wins. We often wait for the big victories in life to celebrate. The promotion, the graduation, the big paycheck, the dream achievement. But what we forget is that those milestones don't appear out of thin air. They are built on hundreds, even thousands of small wins along the way. And if you ignore those small wins, you miss the fuel that keeps you moving forward. Celebrating tiny wins is about recognizing progress, not perfection. Did you show up to the gym today when you didn't feel like it? That's a win. Did you read a single page of a book that pushes your mind forward? That's a win. Did you resist the urge to fall back into an old habit even once? That's a win. These may seem small, almost invisible, but they are proof that you're moving in the right direction. And when you acknowledge them, you send a message to yourself: I am capable, I am growing, I am not the same person I was yesterday. That recognition builds confidence. Confidence builds consistency, and consistency builds success. Think of it like climbing a staircase. If you only celebrate when you reach the very top, you'll be exhausted and discouraged long before you get there. But if you celebrate each step, even with something as simple as saying, I did it today, suddenly the climb feels lighter. The journey becomes sustainable. Celebrating tiny wins also rewires your brain. Your mind learns to associate effort with reward, progress with pride. And when your brain feels rewarded, it wants to repeat the action. That's how habits stick. That's how growth compounds. And that's how you keep yourself motivated even when the finish line feels far away. The truth is, success isn't just about the destination. It's about recognizing the small victories along the road. Each tiny win is a brick. And when you put enough of them together, you build the foundation of the life you dream.
About your future self depends on today's choices. Every decision you make today is shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Every action you take, or don't take, is a vote for the kind of future you're creating. Your future self is not built in one grand moment. It is built in the small, daily choices you make right now. Think about it. The body you will live in 5 years from now is being shaped by what you eat, how you move, and how you take care of yourself today. The career you will have is being shaped by the skills you choose to learn, the risks you choose to take, and the discipline you practice right now. The relationships you will enjoy or regret are being shaped by the effort, respect, and love you decide to give in this very moment. The future is not some distant event that will surprise you one day. The future is arriving step by step, shaped by the choices you make when nobody is watching. And your future self is watching you closely. That version of you, stronger, wiser, more fulfilled, is depending on the decisions you're making today. It's easy to say, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll do better next week. But tomorrow is not guaranteed. What is guaranteed is the choice in front of you right now. Will you choose comfort or will you choose growth? Will you choose distraction or will you choose discipline? Will you choose excuses or will you choose action? The person you become 5 or 10 years from now will either thank you or blame you for what you did today. Every small action, waking up earlier, reading 1 page, saving $1, breaking 1 habit, practicing 1 skill, is either an investment in your future self or a debt you will have to pay later. And the truth is, no one else can make those choices for you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your mentors. The power is in your hands every single day with every single side.
Le décision.